Hello and welcome back to Building a Better Britain. My name's Umar Hanif and today we're going to be talking a little bit about military veterans. So military veterans put their lives at risk throughout their service to keep people like me and you safe, not just in this country but right across the world. They make huge sacrifices, they are quite often away from the families for long periods of time, and that's not to mention going into war zones and conflict on a regular basis. So when it comes to the end of their service and they are looking at reintegrating back into society, whether that's being housed, supported, getting jobs, because you've got to remember many of these people are quite young, sometimes in the 30s or 40s, so they're only halfway through their careers, really. So it's far too young really to be retiring, although many still might consider that. What are we doing to try to make this country as appealing as possible for those people to want to stay, live and ultimately flourish in? Well, the first thing is housing. How do military veterans access housing? Well, at the minute there's a mass shortage of affordable housing right across the United Kingdom. So that's your first challenge straight away. And second of all, there's a huge shortage of jobs. So the first thing we need to tackle is making sure that they are housed. Well, one of the projects that we are working on at the moment, just to give an example of how a little bit of creativity might go a long way, is we've partnered with the Church of England Homeless Task Force, and we're looking at the redundant assets within the balance sheet of the Church of England. So that could be churches, church halls, offices, and looking at how we can ultimately repurpose those, sometimes demolish and rebuild, but effectively repurpose them assets so that they are good quality housing units with space for military veterans to come in, live, be supported in, interact in, have the camaraderie within the building, and create real good quality support hubs where they can come, they can live for a year, 2 years, they can then integrate back into society and then get on their way and live their lives. We're also looking at how we can best support them, integrate them back into the jobs market. And one of the things that we're looking at doing at the minute is working with agencies to offer training programs that will look at military qualifications as they are and translate them into qualifications that can be utilised in Civvy Street. So whether that's trades, so electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, those sorts of things, right the way through to the professional skills like management, accountancy, them types of opportunities. So as I mentioned, we're building, our pipeline is actually 5,000 houses right across the UK, 5,000 homes. So what we're trying to do is use the skill set as well from military personnel to maybe get involved in the delivery of what ultimately would become their house, their apartment, their accommodation, because that'd be a really nice story as well. We need to utilise their existing skills, because military personnel are quite often highly skilled individuals. So how do we then translate that into an applicable skill, or translate that into an applicable skill to help them in the jobs market when they come out of the services? Some, not all, suffer with some of the mental health, or they may need some support, having been through some horrific incidents. So we are making sure that we are aligned with support providers to offer the correct support for mental health and well-being as well, to ensure that they are well looked after and catered for once they've left the military. The military does, it wouldn't be right for me to say this doesn't happen, because the military does offer programs, and the military are supporting veterans where they can, but they are so far stretched at the moment that, in my opinion, I don't think they're doing as good a job as they could or should. So in summary, we need to look at how we can repurpose existing assets to fast track affordable housing. So we're doing that through a partnership with the Church of England, but the MOD could be doing that through their redundant assets, of which they have hundreds of. Local authorities have got disused offices that would be ultimately, from a planning point of view, permitted development rights, so we can convert them into housing units quite quickly as well. So it's about looking at how we can do things in months and not years and decades. and doing less talking now and more action. So we need to look at more collaboration, more innovation and more creativity. Thank you for listening.